welcome to Petrolheads London. And okay, I've chosen the slowest spot to talk to you, but anyway, that's not a bad thing. Back on the S1000R. Long time coming for a video on this, actually. Well, on the bike and about what I'm going to talk to you about today. Lots of people have been messaging me and asking me, so sorry it's taken me so long. And it's also a little while since I've been on the bike. Just life has been busy, doing stuff with the car, but also work and all that kind of good stuff. But anyway, we're back on the bike today, so I thought I'd bring it into one of my favourite places to show it off, although I've missed most of the sunshine today. What little we have in this weather, and talk to you about what I've done to this bike, and I do have some plans for it as well, and talk to you a little bit about that. I'm gonna just talk to you about what I've done. I've made a few mods, I've undone at least one, and I'll tell you why, and kind of what my plans are for that. And there's a few things that still need a bit of tinkering, but I love this bike, and I'm going to do another video about that as well. I love it when it's not driving at this speed, but this is just a great bike. One of the things I'm going to talk about actually while I'm on the bike is, you will notice that here I've got the, I'll have a look when we get off properly, but the screen, the small screen on. Now it's not really a screen, it's more of a postage stamp. And one of my big concerns about this bike, having not done a lot of miles on it before I bought it, was what is it going to be like on road trips. I do a few road trips, usually a couple a year, and I did it once on a street triple, and I vowed never again. Work. The wind buffeting at 130 kilometers an hour is hard work on that bike. It really is. I love the bike. It's an awesome little whiz down to the coast and here we go. But anyway, back to this one. So when I went to the Isle of Man, which was my big trip I did back in June for the TT, I had the full, what I think they call the touring screen or the sports screen on. And it was great actually, because we did a fair bit of motorway work. It's a long old trip up there and back, sort of via Liverpool and the Dales and God knows where else. There's a few videos up around it. So but I think it ruins the looks of the bike. It really does. It's not how it was designed. So I decided to pop this one back on, and actually I've done a fair amount of trips and it's alright. It's actually fine. I've done a bit of motorway, a bit of A roads, and it's perfectly fine. If I did a longer trip, I think I would put the other screen back on. So I have got some plans to do a European trip next year.
Here we are back with my S1000R, and the first thing to say is I love this bike. I really do. And obviously all new toys people love, but this one, it's just something about it. It does so much of what I want to do, and actually I'll talk about that in another video. But today I'm going to show you around some of the mods that I've done. So I've done a few, asking questions about it, and I've got some plans for some other things. So let's have a quick look round what the initial ones are. So the first one, for the eagle-eyed spotted of you will notice, is the Rhizoma Mirrors. So let's have a quick look at those up close, because they are a work of art. So these are the Rhizoma Elise mirrors. I think they just set the bike off really beautifully. I've got the small risers just here, and then the mirrors on top. You'll see, I don't know how well you can see that, but they have like a slightly yellow sheen to them, which is really good for reflection, and it's got some sort of waterproof coating on it as well. And I just think they look fantastic. They really do. They just, the angles of them really set off the bike nicely, and better than those big plastic ugly things that were on there before. So I love them. They are not cheap though, but I think they're worth it. I can't remember how much they were now, but at least sort of over 100 quid each. So yes, I hope somebody doesn't come along with a spanner and borrow them. So that brings me on to the next thing, levers. I really don't like these levers. Now, I bought some aftermarket levers on eBay to change these. So little, just 2-finger ones, or the head slidey bits on as well. Now, let me talk to you about that. So, the reason I say let's talk to you about that is because talking to a few people, they're saying they've heard of these levers failing, so breaking and therefore braking for you, i.e. slamming your front brake on, and I just didn't feel confident with them. Yeah, they were like 20-30 quid off eBay, which is cheap, but I just felt this is my life I'm putting in my hands here, and to have really cheap levers was such a bad idea, and they just didn't work as well. And actually, something I'll show you is there's 2 little switches under the clutch lever which operate the quick shift, and also the enables you to activate the cruise control. And actually, if you mess around with those too much, they don't work. Just under there are a couple of tiny little switches, and those activate your cruise control and your quick shifter. So actually, when I originally put the other lever on, the quick shifter stopped working, and I just thought, this is not worth it. Guys, I love, look at this, beautiful. So, brings me on to the next bit, is the screen. So here we've got the small screen on. I mean, it's barely a screen, but actually, I've been at well over 80-90 miles an hour on a private road, and it actually is fine for short blasts. For longer trips, I would, as I said when I was vlogging, probably put the bigger screen on, the touring screen. But I've done not a lot else to the bodywork. I was going to put some crash bungs on, but I don't know. It feels like a bad idea. I do love the look at the front, though. I mean, actually, with that small screen is how it's designed to look. As RJ says, it's maybe only the look a mother can love, but I just think it looks awesome. So much road presence and so mean. So in terms of the next thing, so these are kind of the main things I've done. I have changed the number plate hanger. So I put a tail tidy on. You can see the angle of that. It's much tidier, much sort of neater than the other one. The only thing is actually the LED on that's a bit bright and tends to shine outwards, so out this way. So I am probably going to, I've got another LED to go on there just to amend it. But that's all right. It's such a good bike already. There's not a huge amount I want to do, so I will change the levers. Now the options on the levers are either put on HP3 levers, which are just extortionate, or put on the there's some Rhizoma levers that I've been eyeing up, so that might be a Christmas present to me. And the final thing I really need to do, I'm not a big fan of carboning stuff up, so I haven't done that. I don't know about, you know, grills on the radiators either. Let me know what you guys think. What do you think about putting those on? What do you think about crash bungs as well? This is the big problem I have. Well, firstly this. I mean, look at the size of that cat box. It's just bloody ugly. So that's got to go. The exhaust is fine. I don't mind it. It's quite big and it makes some nice pops and crackles. The problem I have is actually it doesn't make enough noise when you're out and about on the road. So for me, the next big project would actually be a full straight through pipe. The dilemma is, though, on the straight through pipe, I'm trying to get the bike in shot, is cost. So the difference between a stainless steel pipe and a titanium pipe is basically twice the price. I think it's 700 quid for the stainless and it's about 1500 quid for the titanium. So that's a big gap, and the titanium does look good though. But it's a project in mind. It'll probably be for next year, so into the warmer seasons. I don't ride a huge amount in the really cold and wet weather. I ride to enjoy it. I used to ride all year round on previous bikes and I just didn't enjoy it all that much in the end. But the exhaust pipe is definitely something that's in the running. So look, I hope you've enjoyed this little walk round of my mods on this bike. I'm going to do a video about kind of like why I love this bike so much, and I think I'm probably just going to do that as a straightforward vlog. Anyway, once again, thank you for watching Petrol Heads London. Please remember to like and subscribe. Cheers.